My name is Grace Woji, and I farm at Bulanga Village, Chibanda Sub-County, Rakai District. And the kind of enterprises we deal in here, we are mainly into goat farming, both for local and hybrid goats. We also, on top of goat farming, we also add imports. We import from South Africa goats. And then we have Matoke, that is banana. We also do cattle fattening. And of late, we are adding on poultry farming. We want to major in Kenibro chicken. My main enterprise I'm known for, and my major income earner is currently it is goat farming. For the goats and cows, we farm them on around 70 acres. Then the matoke is on 10 acres currently. I started farming goats in 2015 December. That's when I had the thought. How did it come? And it came all about after frustrations I'd gotten in Kampala as somebody who is employed. I was teaching 3 universities, but the money hardly came. And I got the little money I'd gotten from somebody. Actually, I used a loan. I came to this family farm. I started with 30 goats. And here I am. Goats have grown in big numbers. I'm currently looking at 400 goats. The chicken are also, we are still on small scale, but we are planning to make it bigger next year. And around 100 of them. Feed them with maize bran once a day, and then we let them scavenge around for other feeds. And we strictly use Kenibro and a few broilers plus local chicken. This farm is registered since 2017 and it is under Boji Farms Limited. For the goats project, on average, we earn around 30 million to 35 million. I am a target farmer. How do I do it? When the president is down on lockdown, that was June up to August. So many people went into farming. So many people loved goat farming. So everybody came in. But our biggest time is always between August to December, when the people from Abasama, people from out of the country come in with their money and they want to invest in something. And also the other biggest time for us to sell goats in the dry season. Why in the dry season? Reason being, in the dry season, the goats are less sickly. So you cannot easily pass on, you don't pass on so many illnesses to the farms where the goats are going. So in the rainy season, the sales are low, but in the dry season, we are. And the matoke, on a good harvest, we usually earn between 3 million to 3.5. But the prices have been on and off. There is a time around April this year we are selling a bunch of matoke at 1,000. And actually, my biggest earning from matoke, I decided to diversify into selling suckers. I earn a little more from suckers than the bunches of matoke. Per month, from the suckers, if it is a rainy season, I earn around 6 million from the suckers. By the way, something I didn't tell you, we do also goat trading. We bring in goats from around the neighborhood, we buy goats. We have an animal quarantine area. So all the goats that we bring in as new, we keep them there for a month. We first isolate them, we spray them, we treat them, we deworm them. If we feel after a month they are fit to join the main herd, we bring them back. Biosecurity here at the farm, we make sure we vaccinate. Vaccination is key and part of our activities. We also make sure we spray every Sunday, 4 times in a month. Unless when it has rained so heavily, that's when we don't spray. And then we also make sure that every morning, my guys at the farm know it, when the goats wake up in the morning, we make sure that we treat all those goats that are sick. But this we usually do so much in the rainy season, but dry season, we are just fine. We don't treat as many goats as in the rainy season. We usually get incidences of foot rot, flu, cough, eye issues, all those come up in the rainy season. But dry season, we are just kawa. And then when you entered the gate, there was a foot bath. You saw the car and the foot bath. That's one way we ensure that all the visitors come in, they disinfect themselves. And then the cat tires also, because it has been proven that the #1 carrier of germs at the farm are usually the cat tires. We usually ignore the borders that come in and out. They come from one farm A, farm B. And then also, biosecurity is not all about the animals. We have our own Musao in the trading center, where all our people who have any minor illnesses, we take our workers to any case of any illnesses, COVID-related, anything, somebody has malaria, we just send them there at the end of the month, they send the bill, we pay for the workers. We train people around on goat farming and Matoke farming. So this is something we do free of charge, as long as you mention that you are from around. We train them, that is 1. 2, we have given them employment like you are seeing. There are many people there from around. And 3, we are doing it at a smaller scale. I selected some key outgrowers for myself, the people who keep goats around here. We trained them, and after I gave them 15 exotic goats, males. I could not afford giving them females because I don't have the money. So I make sure after between 6 to 10 months, I know that goat has done some work in that herd. So I pick back my male, treat it again, dispatch it off to another family. Among my workers, there are those people I'm giving soft loans. Somebody comes to you, tells you, Madam, njagala gula mabati. You have seen their old youth here. I mentor them as my own children. Like my manager, he told me he wants to start his piggery project in March. And I'm mentoring him towards managing his own project when he gets from here. One innovation I would think of is the animal quarantine. This happened this year. We got around 25 goats from outside the farm, and we included them in our main herd. I lost over 70 goats. After losing over 70 goats, we realized our mistake. We went ahead, we constructed animal quarantine for all the goats that come in at the farm, the new ones. 1 month in the animal quarantine, we treat you, we do everything, and after you are better, we include you in the main herd. When I started farming goats, vaccines were a thing had only in the cattle department. People, the drug shops downtown, you only used to bring vaccines, 500 mils for only the cattle people. For us, the people who had few goats, we never used to benefit. We lost so many goats. So what I did, I started looking for those particular people who used to bring those vaccines. One of them was Quality Chemicals, Dr. Moding. I went to him and I asked him, why don't you bring for us drugs? He told me the reason as to why we don't bring for you drugs, we don't see the people to use them. I volunteered. I went to Quality Chemicals, I went to Eramu, I went to Amazon. Currently, those are the 3 leading drug shops downtown bringing goat vaccines. I volunteered to be their marketeer for vaccines, and I'm very happy that the vaccine usage in Uganda for goats has increased ever since my crusade to make vaccination a priority in our goats. And then the other innovation was importing boer goats. This is not something everybody does. There are very few people, I think there may be like 4 or 3. And when I was thinking of importing goats, many people discouraged me. They told me, you cannot do it single-handedly. That thing can only be done by government, those big farms. And to me, at the back of my mind, I said, when someone tells me something impossible, I find means of making it possible. I went to South Africa, spent there 14 days, selected the goats, started paying for them little by little. I mobilized the other farmers, told them, here is the deal, and 9 farmers bought into that idea. I brought in April this year, I brought 40 boer goats. We also use water harvesting from the tanks, several tanks, we have them here. That's all we are using. But in the future, like next year, we plan to drill a well so that everybody here can have clean water. That water you have seen at the dam, we usually get 2 sacks of rock salt. We drop it, the sacks, we drop it in that dam because we want to destabilize the cycle of the worms growing in that water. Some of the drugs or chemicals we use at the farm, like here we use a lot of antibiotics. It's like pen and strep. We use it in case of any wounds. There are drugs like gentamicin. There are drugs like oxytetracycline. Those are some of the main drugs we use here. And then also the dewormers, where at one time after like 3 months we deworm with an oral dewormer like any type. And then the other time we use an injectable dewormer. We keep changing because we want to kill different stages of worms in our animals. Originally, in our banana plantation, we have not been using any pesticide. But of late, since the year began, we got a pest which we are not so sure of, but it makes the bananas, the fingers, become rusty. So when the fingers become rusty, the prices go down. So after doing enough research and inquiring from the friends in Kampala, they told me that is a pest. So we are using duduacelamectin. We use a spray pump. We spray. That is the only pesticide we have used. I'm a single mother of 2 children, but what I've done best is to involve my children in my business. My marketing, I do my marketing. Most people, I tell this, they don't believe me. I do my marketing. 99% of my products here, I sell them on social media. No anywhere. I use Facebook. I use my website, Woji Farms, and that's where the buyers come from. And the other 1% comes in from the walk-ins, people who come in at the farm, and also from the referrals. But social media has done it for me. I don't have any other mode of marketing but social media. But also the fact that I use my nature, like I'm a good teacher, so people find me appealing, especially on the media. And they have looked for all the stories about me and they have loved them. Out of the country, somebody tells you, I want to go to farming, I don't have land. And you say, what do you want to do? They tell me, Madam, our money is going to be wasted. So I get some of those people's money, use it here for a small profit, give back their initial cost, and I give them also a small profit, and we move on. My target market for the boer goats, as to why I want to deal in boer goats, my target market is Tanzania. I get several farmers coming in from Tanzania. They are only restricted by COVID now, but all those boers would be out by now, and they give me good prices. And also I sell to Kenya, Ugandans. Rwanda, I'm still failing. I get so many people contacting me, they want goats from here, but because of that friction between Uganda and what, I've achieved a number of things here, but the fact that I'm known, I would say, worldwide. There is no way I walk in Kampala and somebody is, cheering me up, giving me free things. That is something I should be thankful for. In 2017, I say if you can see this house behind me, this is where I was staying. And there's a pit latrine there, that is also my water toilet I used to use. From that water house, I shifted to a 3 muzigo house. I share 1 room with my children, and the other 2 rooms are shared by my workers. From that house for the workers, I'm shifting this month. I'm going into the main house. You'll see how it looks like. I'm shifting this month. And then on top of that, people sponsored me, farmers all over Uganda whom I've never met. They sponsored me to go to South Africa and do the reading, do the learning about boer goats. They paid for my air ticket. And then on top of that, I was also chosen to be the Global Farmer Network by farmers all over Africa I've never met. And I went to Mexico. I spent there a month touring several farms, learning so much about from other global farmers. It really gave me a big mileage. And also I can look after my family from the kind of achievements. I'm not hustling like I used to hustle like 5 years ago. Mainly the activities in the banana plantation, we usually, during they are seasonal. During the dry season, we do mulching to prevent water running out from our plantations. We do mulching, and then during the rainy season, when it is about to rain, We collect manure from the corral, we take it to the banana plantation, and we begin applying the manure when it's just 1 week to the rains. And then on top of that, we do the suckering, we do hand weeding where we collect women from around the village. They do the hand weeding on our behalf, and then we bury the grass in a ditch. That grass we bury, it helps us add manure in our banana plantation. That time the president completely closed down Uganda from any movement, I was just 3 days away organizing a training of 182 people. They had all paid. They shut me down. I was in Kampala doing nitty, doing shopping, disposables, all that. The president announced, COVID, no more movement. So I lost on that. I'd paid all the service providers. Nobody refunded up to now. I'm only counting that next time when COVID has ceased down, maybe they may be able to go back in business with me. When I was locked in Kampala, it is also the force of social media. I went and ranted on social media. How my goats, that's the time I lost 70 goats because of poor biosecurity. So it's after ranting a lot, they granted me permission to come and be at my farm, and everything normalized. Drugs, basically I would not get any drugs to send them to the farm. They would just look on and see the goats dying. When the president is down on lockdown, we got so many farmers who want to join goat farming. We got so many farm visits that I had never gotten before. That was a good one for us. We got so many buyers of goats. Some actually we have started limiting them, that if you're not buying 3 goats and above, because the demand is overwhelming us and we don't have the kind of numbers. So we are limiting them. We are now only giving people 3 goats and above, but below we are not supplying them. We used to cut trees. There's a time I told you I was in Mexico. I spent a month there. I almost had a heart attack. I found most of the trees had been cut by people who come from within. They promise people little money and they cut the trees. They are just growing back. We are just like they found them seeing growing. So I was really dismayed. And what I've decided here at the farm, I'm putting up a biogas system to help us, to give us the energy, the power to cook our food. And also here, this poultry project you're saying, we want to use it for our brooding. So we feel with using biogas, we are going to do with using charcoal at our farm. So we are only mainly going to be using solar and biogas as our source of energy.
Tujja kuba tukutuusaako obulimi ebyobulunzi nga buli kyoyagala okuyiga ojja kuba okifuna butereevu wano ku Farm Round. Nkusaba subscribing nange ku Farm Round.